Tonight on ESGN TV, we talk about the EU LCS and even the Challenger Series. HolyMaster from JoinDota dropped by the studio and we chat with him. And we plop into the StarCraft 2 world with the bonus interview from HeroMarine. All this and more, welcome to the Daily News. And hello everybody, welcome back to Studio 1 in Babelsberg. Dan Show reporting in for another exciting day of news in esports. Tonight is January 16th, and today we have two cool StarCraft 2 history facts. The first is White Raw won Home Story Cup 2 back in 2011, defeating Naniwa, and the second is today is Bomber's birthday. Also, the 18th Amendment passed instating prohibition. Although, despite this, I'm pretty sure Home Story Cup would have still happened if StarCraft 2 was a thing back in the 1920s. So earlier today, Riot Games released a promotional website for the upcoming League of Legends Season 4. The site not only shows awesome-looking artwork, but reveals upcoming plans Riot has for 2014. The site showed off the new Q role feature where players can choose the position they prefer, such as mid lane or jungler, before searching for a game. There was also a preview for featured game modes like the massively popular All for One, where every player on the team is the same champion. On top of introducing these items, Riot gave a glimpse of something else called League of Legends Beyond the Game that explores non-gameplay things like music, artwork, and more. Full information can be found at leagueoflegends.com by clicking on the headline promotional banner to find out more information. Within the pro scene, there have been several things worth discussing. Team Dignitas UK announced that their League of Legends roster has disbanded, following the recent event of Impaler moving over to Super Hot Crew, now competing in the European LCS. Apart from Impaler, players Nitrix, DK Alchemist, Samwise12, and Yarrow are now free agents. So if you need a top laner for your European pro team, why not give someone like Nitrix a call? This doesn't necessarily mean the end for Dignitas' European LOL experiment, as they are looking for a new European roster to establish and try and conquer the continent. Be the first to know at teamdignitas.net. Now we have a rather unusual pro move that you don't see all the time. North American team XDG Gaming announced a lane swap shortly after competing in Battle of the Atlantic. Xmithie will now be playing as the AD carry / marksman in the bottom lane, and Zuna is now the jungler. Moves like these are rarely seen in League of Legends, although players like Hotshot GG and Choster from Counterlogic Gaming have played a mixture of every role for a short time. We will see how they fare soon as they will take on Evil Geniuses in the NA LCS, which begins tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST, twitch.tv/Riot Games. Our last bit of League team news is quite a controversial one. Absolute Legends is dealing with image lashing from their own players. Over the weekend, Daniel Spelzibieri publicly reported he is yet to receive prize money from 2012 IEM Singapore. They placed second to MIM, and he's accusing the Absolute Legends manager Tim Wet Dream Busey to have lied to both their LOL and SC2 squads. Spelzy cites player mistreatment and broken promises have totaled well over $10,000 of owed money, including prize winnings, reimbursements, and sponsorship gear. Spelzy isn't the only former Absolute Legends player to raise his voice. Last January, Metalisk also reported similar experiences with owed money. Other players from AL have joined in the chorus, catching notice of the entire League of Legends community. These are serious allegations against the organization, but even now the details are still being uncovered. We will follow up as the story continues to develop. Now that's all that we have for the team news. On the brighter side of League of Legends Pro Gaming, let's take a look at what happened on day 2 of the European LCS. All 5 matches yesterday were pretty exciting, and I hope you got the chance to at least catch 1 or 2. Here are some of the highlights. Going to come over with a lancing into the rest of the team. There's a barrel right down the middle. Shook is going to fall. That's 1 kill apiece right now, though. Ryan pushed down the final inhibitor turret. Wicked caught up with the box. Will they try and finish him off before he goes back? He uses on top of both. Barrel comes in as well. Nif goes down straight away.
and this is surely going to be game here for the Super Hot crew. Shook gets one. He will be allowed to then jump away, but that means no defense for Alliance.
Let me rephrase. Cyanide missed.
Dodge it, yeah.
Cyanide missed that one. They've caught Candy.
They have caught Candy Panda. Have they got the damage to finish him off? Yes, they have. Just about. Reckless gets that one.
Deal this one. We could see Soaz channeling on him. They've caught Enrated.
They've caught Enrated. Chomper's going down. The box is in position. He's dead. Svenskun dives in, but he's far too low for that one. And Fnatic may want to keep chasing through from this one. Soaz at the front. Let's see if he can land it. There's a barrel from Peke at the side. This is going to be a whitewash. Freddy just about getting away, but Reckless and Peke continue to chase. Oh, solo, and there's a finisher.
They're actually doing it on Reckless.
What comes through? Stan United is there. They're going to go for Freddy first of all. No, they're not. They're going to the backline. There goes the ultimate out of Reckless. He picks himself the 9th kill of the game, and he's going to keep chasing it on to Freddy, who's got his ultimate running, but that won't be enough to save his life. It's Peke that picks that one up, and Fnatic want more kills. The taunt landing on towards Jesus. Peke is keeping him on the fountain and pulling him off the fountain. There's another one for Reckless. Svenskun gets back on, but the hook lands onto him. There's the kill coming back onto Soaz from the laser on the fountain, but it doesn't matter. That's the ace for Fnatic. And in the first El Clasico of the 2014 season.
The second match showed us once again how good Fnatic is right now. 3-0 and undefeated. Reckless and Yellowstar pretty much obliterated SK Gaming single-handedly. And then dynamic duo bot lane of Fnatic had a flawless game, combining to be 11 and 26 on Jinx and Thresh. Take a look at the full results. Gambit Gaming got in their second win, defeating Millennium. Copenhagen Wolves lost in a really close match to SK Gaming with strong performance by Candy Panda, playing a 7-1 Ezreal. And Rocket defeated Millennium without losing a single turret, netting their second win. As the standings currently show, Fnatic at #1 undefeated so far, closely tailed by the promising Polish team, Rocket, who have also no losses. In third place, Gambit Gaming still longs for the throne with 2-1. Super Hot Crew, reinforced by Paler, is placed 4th with 1-1. Rounding out the division are Copenhagen Wolves, Millennium, and SK Gaming, all with 1 win and 2 losses, and Alliance, disappointingly, still searching for their first win. An abysmal beginning with a team that has incredible potential and much scrutiny. Take a look at the schedule coming up as well. A few of the matches I'm looking for. Gambit Gaming versus Super Hot Crew should be exciting. And Alliance versus Rocket. What will fall first? The winning streak of Rocket or the losing streak of Alliance? Now, alongside LCS in Europe, there's also the EUW Challenger Series, showcasing Europe's best challenger teams facing off on a regular basis. It was through this tournament where squads like Copenhagen Wolves dominated for 5 months straight over the European amateur scene. The quarterfinals for Cup number 17 already finished, and the semifinals are being played tomorrow. Meet Your Makers look to be favorites for the tournament with their solid performance against Pulse Esports, defeating them 2-1. They will fight the British team Eternity Gaming in the semifinal. Here's a quick look at their recent matches.
The culling will also clip Elendix to you over the wall. Will land the Null Sphere, and the follow from Libic. It should be enough for Kickers has come in for the counter gang. Elendix will fall to the Force Pulse, and Kickers knocked back with Flay, jumping back to his turret. Shuyu following after with Riftwalk. Not quite enough damage to secure that kill. Mokata jumps back onto Woolite, dodging out of the Boomerang Blade, but this has allowed Nick to come into the bottom lane, who has been silenced. He jukes out of the way of his follow-up using Leap, and that was the teleport coming down, meaning the Kickers will follow up using Assault and Battery. Again, no kills have quite come down.
Wallet is trying to get down towards his dragon area, but he's out in front, and they have to be careful he doesn't get picked.
Yep, they want to go for this team fight despite Dragon already going down, and it's already going to be a split-up team fight. Kickers is going to back off. Kubon jumps back onto his ally using Leap Strike. Nick is still there trying to secure himself a kill. Kubon waiting to jump over the wall.
Targeted attack speed reduction. Sorry, rather than the slow that's going to come from Iceborne Gauntlet.
That's a question that we're going to have to answer in a second, and that will be the win wall stopping the crescendo. Kubon is just going to melt Jokies as he tries to dive onto his back line. Kickers using the Vault Breaker and will be taken down for his troubles. 1 for 2 trade, or rather 2 for 0 trade. No one dropped in that fight, but Pulse Esports is just hanging around the bottom lane, and at the moment they are clearing out fairly effectively. And Shuyu again gets very aggressive, jumps onto Nick. The Zonias will come through. Stranglethorns will knock up a couple members. numbers, but Makata will be on the back lines, making sure they can get nowhere near this fight. This might be curtains for this game. Warlighter will be dropped into the death chamber. Jokeys is just going 1 versus 4 and not winning. GG has already been called. The Nexus turrets are oh so low. Kickers is just hanging around on the spawn pad, the only member surviving in this horror film, and the Nexus will be falling, bringing us to a 2-1. Meet your makers take this series.
And that was...
I like that description, the horror film. Congratulations to all the players that, or all the teams that advanced, rather. You can see the schedule coming up. And if you want to stay up to date concerning EUS Challenger Series, check out challengerseries.eu, who are thankfully put on by chaos.tv. Now that's all for League of Legends today. After the break, we check in with Susie Kim, who stopped by the Nexon Sponsorship League, and we talk all things Dota 2. Plus, later on, Gamefy gives us an update from China on IG's new SC2 roster. The Daily News, we'll be right back. And welcome back to the Daily News. The other day, Susie Kim stopped by the Nexon Sponsorship League to see the second half of the round of 8 matches, including teams Zephyr and All in Us. Let's see what she has for us tonight. Susie?
All right, thanks, Dan. This is Susie Kim with ESGN TV, and currently I'm standing here at the GomTV NSL Season 3 for Dota 2. And behind me, this is Team Zephyr, who is playing in Korea for the first time. This is their debut. And they are a team that is comprised of a lot of famous names such as Purge and Blitz. And so I am super excited to see how they will fare today, and hopefully they'll make it out and into the finals. Okay, here I am. After the game, I am here with Team Zephyr, and I just had some very simple questions to you. First off, this is the first time you are playing on a live stage here in Korea. How was that for you?
It was pretty comfortable in the boots. It was really warm. Compared to all the other times, it's always really cold. Yeah, it gets cold. So I liked it here.
Okay, in game 1, why did you guys choose Sand King and Enigma?
Well, as Aosin, I'm sure wants me to say he thinks he's super good at Sand King, and he started off 0-4 if I'm not mistaken. And Bambo really likes playing Enigma as well in the off lane because you can control the lane really well, and deny some EXP.
All right, and in light of today's game, how confident are you guys that you will make it possibly to the top?
I think we're really confident. We're like practicing well and going to try new things, and I don't think that we're going to have any issues making it to the finals. So.
And there you have it. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. They are super confident that they can make it all the way to the end of Season 3, and hopefully I will be able to see them and interview them after the finals when they win it all. So this has been Susie Kim with ESGN TV with Team Zephyr.
Thanks a lot, Susie. If you want to keep tabs on her adventures, follow her Twitter account at Little Susie. So once more, here are the full results for the NSL round of 8. 5 in QO, 1-2-0 against Don't Die Remix, and will face EOT Hammer in the winner's semifinals. Now, they won against Team Angry Birds 2-1. And on the flip side, you have the crowd favorites Team Zephyr, who won 2-0 against All in Us, and they will face off against MVP Hot 6, who defeated EOT Drill. First semifinal will be on the 18th of January at 1 p.m. KST, while the second semifinal will be on the 21st of January at 6 p.m. KST. All the info can be found at dota2.nexon.com. Now, we always talk about players retiring or teams disbanding, but we barely see teams returning from the grave. Meet Your Makers has a rich history in Dota and Dota 2, and we were all sad when they disbanded back on the 17th of November in 2012. In a recent interview, On Gamers talked to Khaled Naeem, general manager and CEO of MIM, and he said the old management was not able to plan the team in a stable way. MIM has been damaged because of this, and I want to do it right and correctly. This quote heavily implies MIM will be back soon with the team, and we do not know who will be on the new squad or when they will announce it, but an organization with such a rich history in Dota will surely surprise us all. Helios Esports will host their very own Dota 2 tournament from the 1st of February until the 22nd. The prize pool will be $1,500 with Logitech as the main sponsor. It's a great way to test your skill level with other teams, so if you're an aspiring team that wants to sign up and learn more about the tournament, go to their website at heliosesports.com or follow them on Facebook. Good luck to all of the competitors. And another amateur scene tournament that's received lots of buzz is JoinDota's new league. We had a chance to sit down with HolyMaster from JoinDota to talk about their project. This is what he had to say. Hey everybody, I'm joined by Dennis Schumacher, also known as HolyMaster. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, perfect.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for joining me. You're here today to talk a little bit about the JoinDota League. Can you talk to me about the tournament itself and some of your goals that you have for the tournament?
So the JoinDota League is basically just a stable place to compete for the whole community. Doesn't matter what region the player is coming from or what skill level he is at. Like, we want to create a place for every team where it compete with other teams at the same skill level on a regular basis.
Cool, and it's going to be consistent. You plan to have multiple seasons. Yeah. How long do you feel these durations are going to last?
So we're going to have groups of like 10 teams usually, so that's nine weeks for the regular players and like 1 week for tiebreakers and 2 more weeks for playoffs or relegation matches. So that's like 12 weeks for one season. So we try to do 4 seasons a year. And well, since the league is sponsor independent, we can start it whenever we want. So we won't have any breaks during the season, like 2-week break, and then the next season starts. So we can basically push this really fast and don't have any pauses.
Now, it seems to be a lot of focus on the amateur and semi-pro level. Is there going to be anything that's going to... Are you guys planning at all to invite some of the pro teams, or how will the professional scene work into this at all, if any?
Getting the pro teams involved is not the primary goal here, but it is a goal. So currently I'm trying to contact most of the pro or semi-pro teams and see if they're interested in playing there. We have to yet figure out the exact prize pool, so of course this is something relevant for the pro teams, but we're trying to get as many professional teams in there as possible.
Okay, well, cool. So I guess the last question is, how do people sign up if they're interested in having their own team play?
Well, you go to joindota.com and then you either click on the big highlight box that links to the news, or you go to our navigation bar, click on League, and then on Europe, Asia, or America, and the rest is just standing there. It's simple.
And it's open to everybody? It's
open to everybody.
All right, cool. Maybe I got to grab 4 of my friends and see if we can do anything. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Dennis. Thank you so much for taking this time to interview, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen more in the future from JoinDota League.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis, for coming by the studio. You can find more of him at facebook.com/JDHolyMaster. And remember, there's room for every kind of team, just like you mentioned, for the JoinDota League, so make sure to sign up. You can find all the information at joindota.com. Now, I can't emphasize enough how great it is to see grassroots tournaments springing up, as it truly supports a stable scene. Every team begins somewhere. Who knows which team might be the next Alliance or Speed Gaming, 2 teams who have been having breakout performances over the past year. They faced off in the Dota 2 Championship League Finals, where Alliance showed off their true strength and defeated Speed Gaming with a 3-0 sweep. Let's look at the big moment of yesterday's showdown.
And they scout out the Speed Game. He's going for it. The Alpha gets pushed up towards the high ground, but that's not a bad thing. Would have been worse if it was Sing Sing, but then again, his life is so low, and these illusions are not helping them out at all. Hand of God must be used. The Starfall, there's your Timber Chain up. Timbersaw will take out 2, and then the Nagarodi will hold Pilot and Bone 7 in position. They want to get Pilot die. The Fisher, there was still a gap out of here, but Admiral Bulldog just waits for him.
But he should also know that they have no way of contesting this, even though he had the BKB.
Jump in!
He doesn't have it now in Bone 7.
Yeah, he gets some more hasn't been picked up right now. It gets picked up by the Naga Siren. He didn't stop him, but he got a good stun. S4 as well as Loda. Loda's in the back corner. Now you'll come out to fight. His Radiance Burner still working on Bone 7. The heal from the mech will keep him alive a little bit longer. And the Aegis will have to be triggered off right now. And they're going to try and lock him in. They got Chen Nuke. They have to penitence him up as well. And the follow-up trying to be sent down by Chen. They've got to jump in right now. No, look at Loda. This is the insurance right now. Aegis and Cheese is gone. Bone 7 EGM just drops him. Drops him so bad. Owie 2000 as well ensnared up. He's trying to live through these Naga illusions, but Hand of God, Piper's up. Sing Sing's ult is no damage. This is GG right here. They can't survive. Pilot Eye has thrown out his
The Naga Siren is an Empress, and the Maiden, unfortunately, is nothing but the bottom of the food chain.
He wants Ake. Bloody Low pushing back. Mana Burn for the win.
Victory.
One last revenge hit at least.
Top barracks are under attack.
But that is victory. That is victory to Alliance. It took him a while though, but their strat was also, I'm not going to say perfect for that.
Yeah.
Thanks to D2CL and Ritmix, Melbat, and Daily Motion for putting on a great season for D2CL. Congrats to Alliance as they win $25,000. Speed also goes home with a well-earned $15K. For future announcements regarding the Champions League, you can find it at d2cl.org. When we return, we examine the big bomb dropped by Total Biscuit yesterday, and we talk about GSL Code A groups that happened earlier this afternoon. Plus, HeroMarine from Mouse Sports stops by for a chat. You're watching the Daily News with Frodan. We'll be right back.
We will win every series, for sure.
Tune in for the 4th episode of Fight Night Hearthstone like Season 2. Last time, Ekop avenged his own loss and defeated Crypt to put up Doggy House up 2-1. This leaves a fateful showdown between Monk and Nimsh, who will come out on top. Find out later this evening. Now, last night was quite a night for the StarCraft 2 scene, in large part thanks to Total Biscuit, who partnered with MLG to announce the ShoutCraft Clan Wars, a year-long team show match series. There's 5,000 allotted per month for teams to play their games, with flexibility in playing a best of 5 or best of 7, depending on the roster size. In addition, Clan Wars will use all kinds of new maps, including popular custom maps Starbow and StarCraft 2 Brood War. Teams mentioned in the announcement include Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, Startail, Incredible Miracle, Axiom, MVP, Root, Millennium, My Insanity, and IVD. According to a follow-up Q&A, there is no league standings or points issued without every win. In fact, teams are not even guaranteed a certain number of matches. Games will always be online and never offline. And they'll be casted by Total Biscuit as well as volunteer guest casters. Clan Wars will be streamed exclusively on MLG TV, who are title sponsoring, which means no Twitch, YouTube, or Azubu alternatives. Now, Golden will be casting a Korean stream on Twitch, though, if you want to check that out as well. For all information, check it out at ShoutCraft.com. And while you're at it, why not send a thank you message to MLG and the Banes for amazing work in StarCraft 2 as well? Because that's not the only thing MLG has on their hands in StarCraft 2. They announced yesterday the group details of their upcoming Game-On tournament that begins next Monday. Only 3 players have been shown thus far per group because there are still 4 open slots for fan voting. You have a choice amongst 18 North American pro gamers that have a good mixture of fan favorites, rising stars, and longtime veterans. Cast your vote at gameon.gg/vote. The GSL returned last night at high-octane speeds, and today was no exception as Groups C and D featuring players like Flash, Yonghua, Linok, and Symbol. Code A has an incredible pool of talent, but unfortunately only half the players today moved on to Code S. Taking a look at some of the results, you can see that Linok finished first in his Group C, and Yonghua was able to take second. Or rather, the opposite way. Yonghua finished first, and Linok finished second. Moving on to Group D, we also see that players like Symbol and Nyonsek were able to advance to Code S. Now, this will continue on as Groups E and F will be happening tomorrow. Find out what players like Fantasy and former GSL champion Roro will fare in Code A. There's lots of players with something to prove. Tune into the action at twitch.tv/GSL. Now, ESL has been hard at work with WCS Europe, but they will also be running their Intel Extreme Masters with the next step at Sao Paulo, coming up on January 28th, featuring League of Legends and StarCraft 2. The rest of SC2 qualifiers have finished with Jokchi and TLO making it through Europe, and CJ Entis players Hero and Byung qualified via Asia. A few noteworthy tidbits. Jim Credible from Invictus Gaming defeated Soulkey 2-0, but lost to Maru. And Soxri, who won his bracket in the Korea qualifier, also defeated Soulkey and Deer before dropping to SKT1 teammate Dark. The event will be hosted by Red Eye and the gang of casters, Apollo, Rotterdam, Todd, and Caleres. Check out all the info at esl.eu or intelextrememasters.com. But don't forget that ESL's first WCS broadcast begins next Tuesday on January 21st. We've been trying to catch up with some of the Challenger League players who have qualified, and yesterday I got a chance to sit down with Mouse Sports HeroMarine for a few minutes. Take a look. Hey everybody, I'm joined by HeroMarine to talk a little bit about his WCS qualifier run. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Cool. So, Gabriel, talk to me a little bit about the qualifying process. You've came really close a few times, and then you finally managed to do in qualifier number 3. In your worst matchup, Terran versus Protoss, talk to me about the qualifier run.
I have been trying a lot to qualify for WCS since last year summer, and finally I got in. I think it's mainly because I improved more, and therefore I thought like I would qualify no matter what, and I did it. On my TVP, now it's my best matchup actually, and my bracket was not Protoss heavy, but I got the Protoss in the final qualifier where I qualified against Freya, and that was pretty nice.
Can you talk to me a little bit about how you're balancing life in general, because you're still 16 years old and yet you're increasing this much skill and trying to play in many tournaments. How are you managing everything day to day?
I don't try to play as many tournaments as possible. I try to play the ones I want to play first and the ones who are important. Sometimes I try to play other tournaments. For example, if I get an invitation, I will play if possible. I have 3 days per week where I can't play tournaments because of the school, because I have to be there until 4 p.m. and then go home, eat stuff and so on, and that's already 5 p.m. sometimes, and that's too late for me.
Sounds like you have a very busy schedule indeed. I've also been asking a few pros what they thought about some of the potential balance changes coming up. Some things like the nerf to the Mothership core, overcharge length, or even buffing Terran mech. Do you have any opinions on it?
I think the ghost buff is just a bit weird for a mech buff, so I feel like buff the tanks, buff the not the Ravens, the Banshees and Vikings is good. But they really shouldn't buff the Ghost. That would be a bit silly. Like, they want to buff mech and then they buff Ghost, the buy unit. That sounds silly to me.
Before we let you go, Marine, is there anything you'd like to say? Last words and comments? Shoutouts?
Yeah, sure. Today we announced our new sponsor. It's Epic Gear. And Banktrue, who provided me a nice what is it called, monitor to play StarCraft, of course.
All right, you can find a stream at twitch.tv/HeroMarine. Yep. Thanks again, Gabriel, for stopping by, and good luck in your WCS Challenger League.
Thank you.
HeroMarine's Challenger matches will be up against Starbuck, the Zerg player, and you can find it at January 21st, and you can watch it at twitch.tv/WCS_Europe. Let's take a look at a player activity happening around StarCraft 2. Starting with a couple days ago, MC announced that he does not intend on signing with the team after leaving SK. He stated on his Twitter that he will be working closely with his manager Rice, who also left SK at the end of last year. Now, another player who also announced his plans on Twitter was Targa, who declared that he is leaving Dignitas. This came one day after Dignitas published a spotlight on Targa, putting fans in confusion as to what exactly happened. No reasons have been cited by either party, but Dignitas did remove Targa from their website. Another career move, add viPro to the list of retired StarCraft 2 players. He'll be going to university to study civil engineering. And WCS players have officially made a couple U-turns. Hack is now back in Korea and has thus been replaced by Tasia in Premier. And Snute also made the switch back to Europe with his qualification back into the EU Challenger League. You can see all of the player moves there onto your screen. Now, the last player moves to discuss is covered by our partner Gamefy. Tonight, they report on what's happening at the current changes with Invictus Gaming's StarCraft 2 squad. Take a look.
IA from Invictus Gaming, a new player, has qualified for WCS America. Recently, we reported that thanks to the slots of Blizzard's wildcards, 6 competitive Chinese players were able to form the strongest lineup ever for StarCraft 2 World Championship Series. Now, the latest news is that an additional Chinese player will join the team. This new teammate has fought his way out of a heavy encirclement from the WCS America Qualifier Ladder wildcard and gained the last ticket for the forthcoming competition. All slots for SC2 WCS in China were swept by Zenith of Origin, Zoo China, and Invictus Gaming, IG China. The team members are Top, Courage, Tudming from Zoo, and Jim, Maxed, Zigua from IG, as well as the newcomer, IA. In the coming WCS, Terran will still play only a tiny role. It seems that right now only Zergs and Protoss are occupying SC2's battlefield all over the world, therefore not giving Terran a chance to have their day.
All right, well, you can see the full roster on your screen. No Terrans, huh? Well, hopefully some will rise up soon. I'm sure we'll hear more from IG in the near future as well. Thanks, Gamefy, for providing the footage and the report. Let's take a look at their schedule for the rest of the coming days. G League will be coming to a conclusion on the 18th and 19th of January with their League of Legends and Dota 2 finals. And that's all we have for tonight here on the Daily News. Before we finish, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. Starting on Friday, tomorrow, Cloud9 versus TSM to kick off the LCS NA Spring Split. And on Saturday, we have Nation Wars, streamed by ogaming.tv. Participants with a lot of European StarCraft 2 pros. On Sunday, we have the G League Dota 2 finals that we just mentioned. It's going to be between DK versus Invictus Gaming. And on Monday, it'll be MLG's Game.ON Group A that we talked about earlier in the block. All starts at 7 p.m. EST. And on Tuesday, it is NSL semifinals. Blitz, Purge, Bambo, and Corey, and all the other guys will be taking off MVP Hot 6 at 1900 KST. That's a wrap for the Daily News from Dan Cho and the rest of the crew here at ESGN TV. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Fight night is coming up next.